designed to save the world. People will look to the sky and see hope. I'll take that from them first.
And that was a clip from the Avengers, Age of Ultron, which hit theaters in a big way Friday. And WSJ's features senior editorial director Chris Farley checked it out and joins us now. Chris, thanks so much for being with us. What did you think of Age of Ultron?
Well, the early returns for it are very good. The reviews have been good on Rotten Tomatoes. The scores have been high. The early Thursday screenings, they call them pre-screenings, they brought in $27 million. So it's on track to be the sixth biggest pre-opening of all time, which is pretty good. More than the first Avengers brought in its opening day at the box office. Wow. And so it's probably going to do pretty well. I mean, also overseas, it's already brought in $287 million, which also is more than the first Avengers brought in overseas in a similar period. So again, on track to do better than the first one.
Incredible. So these superhero films tend to do very well globally, don't they?
Yeah, well, of course, the Avengers set a high bar. It brought in $1.5 billion in total worldwide at the box office. So we'll have to wait and see whether the Avengers 2 can compare to that after all is said and done. But we may be facing something of a superhero glut. I mean, we see more superhero films on the way very soon this summer. Of course, we have the Fantastic Four on the way, something I'm really looking forward to seeing, and I know my son is too. But we also have Ant-Man with Paul Rudd. That's on the way. We have more Avengers films coming out in the years to come, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War Part 2. And then, of course, DC is getting in the game, too, because Marvel has been smart about telling these epic tales. They're interconnected. And so they want to have a superhero team, too. And so now we're going to see Batman versus Superman. And that will help launch this whole Justice League series of movies.
But like you said, are there just too many of these movies? Are there enough audience members to fill all those seats?
Well, we'll have to see. What's interesting is that we're now bringing back stars that didn't have such great success with their first superhero films. For example, Ben Affleck was in Daredevil. That was not a huge mega hit, and yet now he's back to play Batman and Batman versus Superman. Ryan Reynolds, who didn't have a great success with Green Lantern, is now back to play Deadpool in a new comic book movie coming out. So that's sort of a problem.
You know, I have to say that I think probably all of these superhero movies are great for the studios that make them, but is it good for Hollywood overall? We know how studios are a little risk-averse these days. You know, if 1 billion becomes the new benchmark, how many intelligent dramas are going to be made?
Well, people make it numb by it, and also they make it numb by the non-diverse nature of some of these superhero crews. I mean, for example, there are not a whole lot of female superheroes, though we've seen women can take these films and be huge hits at the box office. Scarlett Johansson, who plays Black Widow in the Avengers films, hasn't gotten her own film yet, and yet when she starred in Lucy, that film made nearly $500 million at the worldwide box office. We haven't seen African-American characters really helm these films yet. We're going to see Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four, but of course there's more that can be done. There's a Black Panther film in the works, a Cyborg film in the works. They will both star black characters, but let's see if we can broaden this out to Asians, blacks, Hispanics,
Absolutely.
and have them be part of the superhero team.
There's room to make it a lot more interesting. That would get me out, because I don't know if I'm going to go see the standard superhero film.
And it would probably help them with the box office, too. The fact that the new Avengers 2 film has some sequences that take place in Korea, that may have helped it in the box office in Asian countries because people want to see themselves on screen.
Absolutely. Chris Farley, thank you so much for
coming
to see us today.